Well, hello, welcome back to my channel. Joshana here to talk about some friggin' books I did not like. And I'm coming back at you with my baggy sweatshirt situation because I'm fucking chilling, you know? So for my favorites, I went from like the least of the favorites to the highest, right? And for this, I'm gonna go the opposite. Number 10 is gonna be the one that like is the highest rated on this list. And number 10 I actually still have. I am going to unhaul it, but I have it right here because I read it recently, and that is Beyond Redemption by Michael J. Fletcher. This is adult grimdark fantasy. It's a super interesting world where mental illness basically gives you magical abilities because mental illness manifests in reality. Like perception is reality. So if you think there is a version of you living in the world that's like your doppelganger, then it manifests. And the more people that believe it, the more powerful you become. So belief and faith is like a very real thing. Super interesting world, but the grimdark bits felt a little bit over the top and like just for shock value more than anything after a while. Like a couple instances, okay, I get it, I get who this character is, but we had to keep doing it over and over again, and like I said, it just started to feel kind of like for shock value, and I don't love that. But like I said, because the world was super interesting, it kind of evened it out. So on my 1 to 10, I gave this a 5.5, which is 3 Pushinicorns. So just very middle of the road. It kind of evened out. So not a terrible rating. You guys know I DNF books a fair amount of the time. So I find that I end up with not that many books that have a super, super low rating because I've said this before. If I'm getting that vibe, like, shit, I'm gonna want to give this like 1 star, I just stop reading it. So I don't have that many that are super low. So that's why there's always like a couple of 3 stars on these, you know, worst of the year lists for me. And that is the case for this other one as well. Number 9 is Slayer by Kiersten White. One of Kiersten White's books was also on my favorites list for the year. Kiersten White is an auto-buy author for me. I will continue to buy every new book she comes out with, except for books in this series. I don't think I'm gonna continue. I don't know, I'm still kind of debating. I might pick up the second one from the library and see how I feel about it. And if I dislike that one, then I'll probably just unhaul this one. But I already stamped it with my little book stamp, and it's signed because I always pre-order her books. So I just don't know how to feel, but yeah, this is the one that's in the Buffy verse. It's set years after, I guess. It's YA, paranormal, and my main issue here was just the main character. We are in her head the entire time, and she was just too obnoxious for me personally. I did not like her. I did not like being in her head. She annoyed the ever-loving fuck out of me. So that's why this one on my 1 to 10 is a 5.3, which is 3 Pushinicorns. And then the last 3 Pushinicorn on this list is Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. This was like mostly a fun time, and I honestly don't even remember why I rated it a little lower. This is YA fantasy, and there's pirates and a female main character who is like this badass pirate chick. And I literally don't remember what it was exactly that I didn't love about it. It was just kind of, it was very meh. It was very, very meh for me. This one also got a 5.3, which is 3 Pushinicorns. And then one that I read recently that I already lowered my rating for it, and I probably should lower it again. I don't know. Breakfast at Tiffanys by Truman Capote. I mean, it's Breakfast at Tiffanys. You probably are slightly familiar with the story. It was written in 1958, and it's about Holly Golightly, who's like a little escort girl in New York City, and she's very flighty and whimsical and just this like fly by the seat of her pants type person, and everybody's like in love with her, and her neighbor meets her and becomes like enamored with her, and he's like writing about her. The movie definitely veered from the book slightly with some plot points, the ending, definitely the ending, and they took out a whole character. Also, they removed a lot of the fucking racism from the book. They left that out of the movie. The movie did have a problematic character, a man playing, and it was fucking Mickey Rooney, white guy, playing Mr. Yunioshi, a Japanese man, and they costumed him up with like all like weird facial like makeup to make him look very much like a caricature, and they gave him this weird ass voice accent. I don't even know. It's not a good like representation. But the book just fucking was using racial slurs pretty regularly. Not like on every page or anything, but like it was more than a handful of times where a racial slur was used, and just very casually. So that brought my enjoyment down quite a bit. Otherwise, this probably would have been like a 4-star for me because it's a novella, it's very short, and it was just fun times, and this crazy ass character that just was like fun to watch her just traipsing around being a mess and being like just delightfully messy and like ridiculous, you know, just like the movie. But then they had to have all that, so it lowered my enjoyment. I still feel like I should rate it lower, but what I have it at is a 5 on my 1 to 10, which is 2.5 on my Pusheenacorn rating. And then this one was a pretty big disappointment, honestly. Who Fears Death by Nnedi Okorafor. Oh, I wanted to love this so much. I have read Binti and then Akata Witch and Akata Warrior. And I only read the first Binti, but I liked it. I remember enjoying it. And then I really enjoyed Akata Witch and Akata Warrior. This one, not so much. I don't know if it's considered adult or YA. They're like teenagers when they go off. It's like a quest. They go off on this quest. And I didn't like it. I wanted to so much. And I don't even remember exactly what it was I didn't like. The plot felt kind of meandering and like it was just kind of thrown all together. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to love this a lot more than I did. And it just kind of fell a little flat for me. This one also on my 1 to 10 was a 5, which is 2.5 Pusheenacorns. And then Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Oh, I've wanted to read Robin Hobb for so long, and I don't know if I should just skip this entire trilogy altogether because it was just so super meh for me. There were parts of it that I liked, but then there were other parts that I just hated. It just fell kind of flat for me. I didn't love anything about it. This was also a 5 on my 1 to 10 and a 2.5 Pusheenacorns. The Wolf by Leo Carew coming in at number 4. Yeah. I just, the political, it wasn't even political. The war strategy thing is, when it's that much of the focus, I've learned is not my jam. The plot to me felt very much like, here's our new plan. Let's try it. It's going to be great. Oh, fuck, that didn't work. Okay, we got another plan. It's going to be amazing. It's going to work for sure. Shit, that didn't work either. God damn it. Okay, this time, guys, this time it's going to... And it just got very exhausting. Like, just mentally reading this, I was like, can something happen, please? Oh my God. And I didn't love any of the characters. There was one female character that I was very intrigued by, and she was essentially just used as a plot device, and I didn't love that. So yeah, this one just was not my jam. Also, on my 1 to 10, a 5, so 2.5 Pusheenacorns. And then we get to Frostfire, number 3, by Amanda Hocking. YA fantasy, set in like a Canadian Arctic world. There's magic and like trolls and changelings and stuff, and it just screamed like the stereotype of YA that people don't like is kind of what this reminded me of. The characters weren't great in my opinion. I didn't like them that much, and the story didn't do all that much for me. I don't know. I buddy read this with Nicole, who picked this book, and both of us were just kind of like, no, I don't think so. On my 1 to 10, I gave this a 4.6, which is also 2.5 Pusheenacorns. And then, everybody's probably sick of hearing me talk about this one, but Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter, coming in at my number 2 most disliked book of the year. This is adult fantasy, African-inspired world, and it's like a revenge plot, and our main character just is hell-bent on revenge. There's lots of military tactics, strategizing, training. Literally at least 50%, probably 70% of the book, I would say, is like military training. It's just battle training, sword play, skirmishes with each other, just constantly, over and over again, over and over and over. And our main character, essentially, he just wins all the time. Like, he literally just wins all the time. And he forgets his mission, like the overall mission, when he sees someone who like is one of the bad guys that he's after. He just like loses all sight of like the plan he has figured out and just wants to go stab him in the chest in front of a group of people. And he does this multiple times, including at the end of the book. So just the character growth was not there for me. The plot was so cyclical and repeating for me. Not anything that I really like. And I mostly just kept reading this one because I saw so many fucking great reviews. And partway through it, I was like really debating DNFing. And I saw so many reviews on Goodreads, non-spoilers, but reviews where people were saying, it gets so great at the end. Oh my God, the ending of this book left me shook. I couldn't even believe it, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, all right, maybe I gotta suffer through and it's gonna really turn around and I'm gonna be hyped. No. On my 1 to 10, I gave this a 4.5, which is 2 Pushinicorns. And then my number 1 most disliked book of the year, and this was a bummer. Queen Sugar by Nicole Basile. They made this into a show, I think on Amazon, or maybe HBO, or maybe Showtime, or maybe Stars. I don't fucking know. They made it into a fucking mini-series, I think, though, and it looked really good, and I had the book, like, on my radar for a hot minute. This one is, I guess I would just call it, like, contemporary, or just general fiction. I don't know. I wouldn't call it literary fiction. It's just general fiction. It's a family saga, family drama. This woman, her father dies, and he bestows upon her this sugarcane plantation in the South, and she's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do with this, but she has literally nothing else going for her, so she takes her daughter, goes down there, and is trying to figure this out. And there's some family dynamics. She has an aunt there, and then her grandma, and a couple of cousins, and then her brother shows up, and he is a fucking mess. And he's primarily why I fucking hated this book. Mostly, it's just a personal thing because I have known a person like this. I've known a few, but I've known one closely and had experiences with this person where nothing is ever their fault. They are just a hot-ass mess of a person, flailing through life, fucking shit up for other people, and then being like, what? Everybody's just out to get me all the time. And I can't. It just gives me so much stress and like anxiety. I just hated him. I can't even remember his fucking name, but he ruined it for me. And I didn't necessarily love the other characters super huge amounts, but without him, I think this book would have been probably around a 3-star read. But fuck, I hated him, and I just every time he was doing his dumb shit, I was just like, somebody punch him in the face. Somebody punch him in the face. Oh my God, it stressed me the fuck out. So on my 1 to 10, I gave this a 4.3, which is 2 Pushinicorns. There we go. As always, let me know down below if you agree or disagree with any of these opinions that I have. Hopefully I haven't horribly offended anybody too much, but if I have, relax, it's not that serious. This isn't like a disclaimer, it's just something funny to me. And I get it, it's human nature. If someone is like talking all the shit about something you love, a book you really love, I get the knee-jerk reaction to want to defend it and be like, but no, you just don't understand. But like, don't do that. The amount of people who did that on my Rage of Dragons like rant review, and I mean, I'm not like mad at anybody about it, but it's just funny to me. I'm just like, you don't need to leave me like a dissertation about why I'm wrong about the book. I'm not wrong, it's my opinion. And you're not wrong with your opinion either. And nothing you're gonna say about your positive reading experience is gonna change my negative reading experience, and vice versa. If I really loved a book, you telling me how much you hated it, that's not gonna change my experience. That's not gonna change my opinion of it. So I guess I'm just saying, like, save your fingers. Save your breath. As always, thank you so much for your time. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.